Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Just have a few more guys getting the audio sorted, and then we're gonna start off.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Dion.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. You're most welcome. Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dion Lafaka, the Technical Director for the Trinidadian Football Association. I would like to welcome each and every one of you here today for this very, very special occasion and for us to interact with Joshua De Silva. And we're so honored to have Josh here. But before we start, I'd like to start with a little prayer. Dear God, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to have Josh here. Thank you for Josh being here. We also think of the people this at this time who are suffering with the pandemic, and we pray that the pandemic can be very quickly behind us. We pray for those people who don't have anything to eat and looking for situations in life where they need hope, and to remember that there is hope. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. So, Josh, on behalf of the Trinidad Football Association, on behalf of the FIFA Trinidad Normalization Committee, we'd like to very sincerely welcome you here today to spend some time with us.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor. When you told me that I was been given the privilege to come on, I couldn't say no. I cut my fishing trip short to come on to jump on this because I'm very excited and I can't wait to see what we can get talked about.
Now that's awesome, Josh. That's awesome. Josh, I wanna start off by asking you, tell us a little bit our theme. The theme we decided to go with for these motivational series is called There Is Hope. Can you tell us, Josh, how does that resonate with you?
For me, a lot of hope was needed in getting to the level that I play at today. When we have hope, we are more likely to see the opportunities. We believe in ourselves more. The self-belief is very important in sports, academics, anything. Once you believe in yourself, I believe anything can be done. So for me personally, I had to have a lot of self-belief to coming up through the ranks in youth cricket and then into the senior team with Trinidad. And it wasn't very easy. It happened quite quickly, but there's always people that don't think you deserve to be where you are and how quickly you reach there as well. So the self-belief for me was a big part. And just I hope that one day I would make it, and I'm there. I'm not where I want to be fully as yet, but I've reached a level where I need to work even harder. So yeah, hope is very important.
Josh, I want you to talk us through a little bit your journey as a youth, right? From primary school, secondary school, all the way up. Just talk us through that journey, because a lot of times we look at people like yourselves and who have reached, to top places in a specific sport, and we don't realize that it's an actual journey. Can you talk us through that journey, please, Josh?
Yeah, of course. If you see the picture behind Coach Dion, you see Coach Dion, you see Carlos Edwards, and you see myself down in the corner there. I was actually a footballer growing up. I never really played cricket. Since I was 3 years old, my parents told me my first word was ball, and I just kicked the ball from the moment I could crawl. So growing up, I was always playing football. I joined Lafucard at a young age, and yeah, that the journey there was something that I'll always remember. We have a lot of memories there and a lot of funny times. We won't go into all that, but going into secondary school, I decided. My dad told me, why not go try out for the cricket team in Form 1? So said, so done. I started playing cricket and football. Didn't spend as much time in the school as much as I should, but a lot of time in the field. But yeah, playing cricket was very important because I love sports. Playing both sports was important growing up as well. Moved up the ranks all the way through St. Mary's College and then got into Form 5, and there was a decision to be made. Do I play football or do I play cricket? And I weighed the odds, and hope was very important in this because I never really was a cricketer. I never played any youth level for Trinidad as yet. So I took a leap of hope, and I hoped that it would work out for me. It didn't work out right away. About a year, 2 years later, I made the Trinidad under 19 team, and then I came back home. I stopped school after Form 5, and I took a year just to focus on cricket. And I eventually scored the most runs in the club season that year. And then I got selected to play first class cricket, which is the regional level, just under West Indies cricket around the Caribbean. My first year wasn't too great. Then moving up, my next year I scored 500 odd runs, and that earned me to go to a tour with England, to England with West Indies. And I knew I wasn't going to play. I was a reserve, but there was an opportunity that presented itself. The main wicketkeeper, he got an injury. He got hit in his face with the ball, and I can still remember this to date. The coach told me, "Josh, you might have to go in." And I was scared. I don't even know what, I can't tell you what was going through my mind. And the worst,
Wow.
my gear was over in the hotel room because the hotel was on the ground. Due to COVID, we had to play in grounds that had hotels. So I ran over, got put on my gear, and I could just remember thinking, what am I doing? How did I end up here? And I said to myself, boy, just believe in yourself. Just go there. You've been training. You've been doing well. Just go and put your best foot forward. That's all you can ask for. Ask God to guide you through it. And boy, so I went out there. I did all right. And yeah, I made my debut for West Indies in December 10th of last year in New Zealand. That was an amazing time. And ever since then, yeah, I've been with the West Indies team, and leaving for another tour on Saturday.
Wow, Josh, that is so fascinating. I want to go back to something you said just now there. You like football. You're not really into the cricket. And you get to a point where you're saying, here's an opportunity, but I really love football. Just talk us through that a bit, because I want people to understand that you want to do football, you want to be the best footballer you could become.
Yeah.
And there's this situation, and am I taking a risk? Talk us through that a little bit, Josh.
Yes, it was a huge risk. Growing up, everybody knew, Coach Dion knows, I love football. All I wanted to do was play football. Every youth pro league we had, I was playing. We used to represent police back then. So we went in, we played, and I was always about football. I played intercol football for St. Mary's College, was playing since at Form 3. I made my debut, I believe, in intercol football. And it's all I wanted to do was play football. Cricket was there, always there, but I grew up playing football. I always wanted to be a footballer, to represent Trinidad. I actually wanted to represent Italy, but I knew that would never happen. But to represent Trinidad was a goal of mine. I never thought I would play West Indies cricket for West Indies. So in Form 5, that decision that was made was, I didn't understand what I was doing, but I knew that I weighed the odds. How many footballers made it from Trinidad and Tobago? How many cricketers made it? I can count probably 2 hands, 3 hands, 4 hands, how many made it from cricket. So that's all up here. And then football is a bit lower. So I was grateful enough that I was decent at both sports. And yeah, that risk was definitely involved. A lot of hoping I will make it. And thankfully it worked out, because I don't know what I would do if it didn't.
So Josh, you as you said, you had to take that risk. You took that risk. But with that risk, did you say to yourself, well, if cricket don't work out, I'll go back into football? Or you just felt, based on your talent, and of course, I'm sure coaches speaking with you, that if you apply yourself, talk us through that you made the transition.
You're right.
What kept you going along that road?
When I made the decision, I told myself there's no going back. I can't go back. I would have missed out 2 years of football already once I made this decision, because I wasn't going to stop playing cricket. Once I made that decision, I put everything towards cricket. So when I made that choice, I said, this is all you have. There's nothing to go back for. Honestly, I didn't do well in school, so I didn't have academic side of things to drop back on. I just had cricket. And for me, that's all I wanted to do. There was nothing going to stop me. I was very grateful how fast it happened, because a lot of people try and a lot of people fail. And it's something that you live with. But for me, I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to be a bum on the street, to call it. I wanted to be able to provide for myself, not live off of my parents. So that was my motivation. So that's all I wanted to do. And that just drove me to where I am.
So you made the decision. Look, there's no looking back. I'm going for nothing, for all or nothing.
Yeah.
What type of sacrifices did you have to make, Josh?
In the earlies, I lived in the Oval 6 days a week. I would be in the Queen's Park Oval from 8 in the morning till 5 in the evening. Sometimes I trained 3 times a day. So in the morning, I would go bat on the bowling machine. I would go and do running. I would do my interval running with my coach, and he would just blow a whistle. He starts sitting down in the stands. Tweet, you run. Tweet, walk. Tweet, you run. And I did that every day for about 6 months. I took 1 day off. For 6 months, I did that. And it was the fittest I ever was. And that everybody always tell me, you see that year you did before you played that first season for Queen's Park first team, that's where you are today. And everybody always tells me the one thing that I have over some people is my work ethic. There's one thing, if there's many quotes Coach Dion told me, but there's one thing that always stood out. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. You can have
Wow.
all the talent in the world, but if you don't work hard, it's not going to happen for you. Treat the game like it's your love, like it's your mom or your dad. You have to love it. You have to be disciplined, and you have to respect the game most importantly.
Because not many, no, not I shouldn't say not many, but to love working hard, to have
Yeah.
that passion, Josh, to work hard. Yes, it's sometimes your body says saying, "Wait, what are you doing? You're trying to kill me or what?"
All the
And
time.
obviously in our climate, especially cricket and the long hours that you spend out in the field, you know. So did you how important was the exercise science part of it for you? Knowing that for cricket, how did you line up exercise science with where you are today?
I didn't really get into much of knowing what I needed until maybe 2 years ago when I actually got into a professional setup. I didn't know what I needed to eat, what I needed to do, if I need what kind of weights I need to lift. I was just lifting weights because I felt like I needed to get stronger, but I didn't know that I don't need to get stronger. I just need to get my muscles strong. I don't need to look stronger. But once my muscles and everything is strong, I'll be able to perform for 8 hours in a day. Because we're there from the game starts at 10, you get a break, a 40-minute break for lunch and a 20-minute break for tea. And then you end at 6 o'clock. So and then you get up there, you do that all over 5 days. That's the format I play now, which is Test cricket, and that is the most grueling effort, the most grueling game I think there is. I don't think anything could compare to Test cricket. So the science behind it, I still don't understand. I just let the experts deal with it and tell me what to do.
Right. So Josh, obviously, so you is it fair to say that you were basically luck meeting preparation,
Yeah.
right? The preparation. So in terms of being lucky, was
Yeah.
it preparation meeting opportunity? Would you say that you were prepared and you got an opportunity to, because you talked about going on to play for the not the top West Indies team, the team just below.
Yeah.
Well, how did explain to us how that opportunity came?
Wow. Well, a lot of luck was involved. In fact, cricket is a big game of luck, and I always say the way you treat the game is the way it's going to treat you. So if you treat it
Wow.
bad, you come late. If you're late by 5 minutes, you're late. So I try my best not to be late because the game is not going to reward you for not treating it right. So in the preparation, I just worked really hard. I worked as hard as I could. I took my chances when I got them. Opportunity is a big thing. But in order to take an opportunity, you have to be ready. There's no way you're gonna take an opportunity without being ready. If there's a game where there's one game a selector came to look at, I need to score in that game. You're not gonna score all the time in cricket. It may not happen, but your mindset and your self belief needs to take you through to that. And I should take some of my own advice because it's hard. It's really hard. Sometimes you're not scoring runs and you're just wondering where's that next run gonna come from. An example: this last series I was in, I scored 2 ducks. My first duck was in the first inning of my first duck in my Test career, and then I was the recipient of a hat trick. I was the last man in the hat trick, and I was a first ball duck. And I just laughed. I told myself, boy, it's not going your way. But one time, it's not gonna be so forever. Something's gonna go your way. It's not always gonna be bad. So you're gonna have to go through that tough period to see some rewards at the end. Keep digging for those diamonds. It's gonna come eventually. But yeah, the preparation and that leading up to that season, it just so happened COVID came along. I actually have a lot to thank for COVID. The kind of opportunities that were presented to me during COVID was a blessing. I wouldn't be in some of the places that I wouldn't have went to England without COVID. I wouldn't have went to New Zealand without COVID. So in my case, this was a blessing in disguise for me. As hard as it is now, and as much as I wanted to go away, it's something that took me to where I am today. And in England, I got an opportunity to play a practice game. And in the first practice game, I didn't do too well. I scored 14 and 9, something like that. But in the next game, I spoke to the mental strength coach, and we had a chat. We just talked. We didn't even talk cricket. We talked about what I like, what I wanted to do. Off the cricket field for me is not something that I go back and I just think about cricket. It's to take my mind off of things. I do things that I like. I like to play golf. I'm not very good at it, but it suits me. It's something that I like to do. I love to fish, and those things when I'm home and I'm available to go and do them, I do them because it suits my mind. It takes my mind away from my work. As much as I love my work, it's still a job, and I need to relax from it a little bit as well. So in the second practice game, I scored 130 not out, and then I scored 56 not out. And then all of a sudden, everybody's asking, who's Joshua De Silva? who's this guy? Who's this little white boy from Trinidad? Nobody knows who I was, but that innings and that opportunity I got has put me a long way, and that took me to New Zealand as well. And then I got my opportunity. I scored 50 in my first test, and yeah, it's been a lot of luck with the opportunities that came its way.
Wow, 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 wow. Josh, because you're talking about highs and lows. Let's talk first about the lows. You're
Mhm.
playing, obviously, you're not only a wicket keeper, but you're
Yeah.
also a batsman. And sometimes I know you open and
Yeah.
you're in the front order. Tell us, Josh, you walk out there, and I'm asking, I don't know what it's like in terms
Yeah.
of there might be two guys in front of you out there, and then it's
Yeah.
your turn to bat, or you open the innings, and you go out there and you had all the mental preparation and so,
Yeah.
and this particular ball is bowled, and wow, that ball took my wicket.
Yeah.
Talk us through that? What does that feel like, Josh?
Oh, you never want to get out. But there's some instances where you just you can't avoid it. A ball might be too good for you, and then you just have to say, all right, that was a good one, come again. But then for me, the times when I get upset, not upset with myself, but disappointed with myself, is when I get myself out. When I knew that shouldn't have gotten me out. I know I'm way better than that. So those are the times when I go back to the drawing board and I say, well, I go and look at my footage, and we have analysts that send us all our footage, and we can look at the opposition. But I like to look at my footage and talk to the batting coach. I talk to the batting coach every day. Even though I'm home, I talk to him every day, talking about mental, talking about physical. I send him all my videos from training, and we're analyzing where I can get better. But those lows, sometimes they're really low, and it's I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. Not doing well in what you love and your job, what's making the bread for you, is pretty tough. But eventually, you're gonna hopefully come back from it. But there's only so many opportunities you get at a high level. So it's a time where you start thinking, boy, am I gonna come back from this? But that's where the self belief comes in, and the hope. And yeah,
Wow. Because you have to impress the selectors, because obviously there's a little added pressure there, that knowing that the selectors are, did we make the right choice? Is he going to
yeah,
seize his opportunity? And
yeah,
all these things are, because I guess at your level, Josh, the media could say what they want. The media will have opinions. People will have their opinions. But what are you more concerned with, the media or the selectors that are there? Which one kind of is in your mind a lot?
the media or the fans don't pick me. The selectors pick me. But it's I would be lying if I said the media and the fans sometimes don't get to you. It's you're a human being. People saying stuff about you, you're obviously gonna feel a type of way. So when I'm not doing well, even when I'm doing well, I leave groups. I turn my phone off. I don't want to hear anything about what I did well or what I didn't do well, because they're just gonna bring you down. When you're not doing well, they're your worst enemy. When you're doing well, everybody wants to be a friend. Everybody wants to put you up. Everybody wants your interview, but it's the opposite. Nobody wants a piece of you. They want you off the team. I've been called some bad things. I've been told a lot of bad things, but um, my family, my friends, my teammates, my coaches, very grateful for them. They pushed me through all of it. The selectors, I've been given a good faith so far, and I just want to repay them. That's most important. Just repay them for the opportunities they've given me.
Your story sounds so similar. It was just like right up when Ron Atkinson was coaching at Aston Villa, and Ron, there was another striker called Tony Daly
Hmm.
that he kept giving the nod to sometimes, and Dwight was there like, I'm not getting my chance. And
Yeah.
as fate would have it, the coach got fired after a few weeks, and
Okay.
the assistant coach said, Dwight, I'm going to give you a chance, a fair chance. And Dwight said, Coach, because you gave me that chance, or something to that effect,
Yeah.
and he just went on and started scoring goals.
Hmm.
So it's about believing in yourself,
Yeah.
and getting that opportunity.
You know your ability. Only you know what you're capable of. People can see what you've done. They can see your scores. They can see how many goals you've scored, whatever your field is. They can see what you've done well. But you know how you got there. You know what you did to get there, and the kind of sacrifices you put in. Nobody knows that. It's like all they see is the tip of the iceberg. They don't see what's under the water.
Wow, wow, wow. Just this is so powerful. Josh, I want to talk about your highs a little bit. You're scoring over 100. I know intricate getting a century or even half a century is a huge deal. What can you talk us through why you think mentally you were able to score so many runs, and what was that feeling like? And how was or maybe what did confidence play in those highs?
Scoring runs, scoring 100 is like winning $1 million. Put it that way.
Wow.
It literally feels like you're on top of the world. Nothing can stop you. I would cry if when I make my test 100, I'll cry because the feeling that brings to me. I've seen other people do it and I cry for them. I shed a tear for them because I know how important that is. They don't come easy. They're the hardest thing in the world to come by in the cricketing world. So a 50 alone, when I scored my debut 50 in New Zealand, and I was very thankful. The New Zealand crowd was very, very welcoming. They clapped me out the first time I went to bat. They clapped me when I made my 50. So that was very heartwarming for me because it made me come into the game a little easier. It made me adapt. It made me a lot more confident, and a lot more feel like I belong there. And scoring runs in Test cricket, any kind of cricket, doesn't matter the format. Once you score runs, you're gonna feel like you're on top of the world, and the confidence that takes over into your next game and your next game and your next game. It's not gonna last forever though. Unfortunately, your wave ends, and it's just how you can conquer that. But the highs of cricket, I would put it up to anything in the world. It's just amazing.
And when you're facing, because obviously the fielding team, their strategy might, this guy he looks like he's set, he's in it, and they're gonna throw different type of bowlers at you. What goes through your mind when you see they went with spin didn't work, they went with medium pace, they went with full out pace? What goes through your mind when you see these changes coming at you?
Well, they're trying everything to get me out, but if it's not working, I've seen everything already, so they can keep bringing them back, and I already know what they have, but they're just trying their different methods and different ways in order to try and get somebody out. Me in particular, I take it like they're trying harder than I am. I'm on top of the game. They're trying everything they can. That's all they have. They don't have anything else. So I'm on top of the game, and they might even try sledging at you. They might try telling you something. Personally, I love a sledge. I talk it back to you. I take it on like it's a conversation we're having. I just anything you tell me, I'm gonna talk to you back. That's what keeps me concentrated. I feel comfortable when you're talking to me. I don't like to be thinking in my mind before the ball is bowling. I wonder what he's gonna bowl. I would rather have somebody distract me before I bowl, before he's running up to bowl. Like normally when a spinner's bowling, they have a back pad or somebody feeling really close to you on the leg side. So I would go up to him and I would talk. Wow, he's bowling pretty good. Oh, I should have scored off of that one. I would just talk. I'll just make a conversation. He'd reply, and do all of this. So yeah, it's fun for me. I have a laugh and make sure I'm just having fun. That's all. Enjoy what you're doing. If you're not enjoying it, you're never gonna do well, because just having fun is most important in anything that you do.
And Mariri Gonzalez, who's actually the president of the Secondary Schools League, he just asked in the chat, what are your views on the different versions of the game and why?
I love all formats of the game. Test cricket is definitely the pinnacle for me. I've been growing up watching Test cricket ever since that was the first version of cricket. So for me to play Test cricket is an honor. Not many people do it. So for me to have my cap number is 322, and for me to have that cap in my possession, I wouldn't trade that for the world. If you told me I could win $1 million, I would say no thanks. I wouldn't take it. Playing Test cricket has been a dream. Ever since I started playing cricket and taking it seriously, that's been a dream. That's the goal. 50 over cricket is still long, but I enjoy it. I enjoy white ball cricket. T20 is not my strong suit. That's where all the money is, but I'll get there eventually. I'm not too focused about the money right now. I'm just enjoying what I do. And when those opportunities present itself, I will try my best. We have CPL coming up at the end of the Pakistan series in August, late August. So get the opportunity to play there. I'm going to do my best. Whatever format it is, I put my best foot forward. There's no preference to say, but right now I'm focusing a lot more on the red ball stuff.
Wow. So Josh, I want to go back to you talked about earlier about your education.
Mm-hmm.
How, to the young people on the call and to the many people that are going to see this interview, how important do you think education is? Because most young people, they just want to play sport and they want to go on to whatever field that sport that they like. How important is education?
It's just as important as how hard you train and how hard you work to get where you are. In order to get where you are, you have to work hard. And just in case it doesn't work, this is how I looked at it. But my mom tried, but she couldn't get through to this solid brain. She didn't get through that. But no, it's very, very important. Just in case it doesn't work, you have something to fall back on. But not only that, it teaches you discipline. It teaches you patience. You know how hard it is to sit down in a classroom for 2 hours and watch a teacher talk to you? That just teaches you patience, and the kind of belief you need to do that is different. So No, the education side of things is very important, and I would encourage everybody to always do their work. I always regret not doing well in school, not putting my best foot forward, not taking these opportunities, because those opportunities are never going to come back. Yes, I can go back and do it, but it's not, it wouldn't be the same as if you did it already. You don't have to look back and say, oh, I didn't do it, let me go and do it now. It's already done. So put your best foot forward in school and sport, and you can do both of them. It's not impossible. They have cricketers playing international cricket and going to university. It's not impossible, and footballers do it as well. There was, I think, the youngest guy the Euros that just went by in football was still in school. So it's something you need to do and get done in order to be the kind of successful person you want to be. It teaches you a lot of life lessons, and you never know. One day somebody might ask you to count your money. You need to know how to do that.
Wow, wow. And Marie was asking again if you had your preference, like what type of bowler you'd love to face? Is it spin? Is it what type you when you come in like this which one makes you feel more confident, or are they all the same?
No, it's quite different. Spin, depending on the wicket as well. Spin, if it's not turning, I would love to face you spin because you know it's not turning and it's just gonna come on straight and you could whack it wherever you want. But if it's a spinning wicket and the ball bounces and it turns and goes to first slip and you play here and you look stupid and the ball's all over there, yeah, that's pretty tough. It all depends on the conditions we're playing in. On a flat wicket, I think anything is really okay for me. On a seaming wicket, I hate batting on a seaming wicket because the fast bowler comes down, it pitches, and it goes away, it goes in. It's different, it's hard, it's challenging, but I enjoy the challenge. So my preference would probably be pace. I enjoy facing pace like the ball coming on, but the job calls for me to face all, so I got to do it.
Just talk us through some of the trials that you've gone through because everybody looks at the sportsman and they're making how much money and that their life is perfect. And so talk us through some of your trials. I know we had Andrew Lewis on, and of course him having a wall fall on him and then having to have his face reconstructed. And so if you don't mind, Josh, what trials have you gone through, and tell us how you got through it?
Gratefully, I haven't been through too many walls, no pun intended, but it's been quite smooth for me so far. I would say, growing up in youth cricket, I should have probably made the Trinidad under 17 team, but there were a few politics involved, and that kind of set me back. Like, am I ever gonna make it? Am I ever gonna make it? Am I gonna do what I needed to do to get onto that team? And that was even before I chose between football and cricket. So that probably at that time persuaded me a little more towards football because I'm seeing all this politics in youth cricket. Is this going to transfer up the level to under 19 and up the level to senior team? It's quite challenging knowing that you were overlooked when you knew that you did what you needed to do to make the team. But that's where the hope came in. I just hope that if I kept working hard, if I kept putting in the right hours and the amount of time that I put in, everything will come, and eventually I'll get where I am. So far, I'm very grateful to not have had too many hiccups in my sports, but I'm preparing myself for just in case a hiccup might come around because I'll need to get back from it. I'm only 23 years old, so I have hopefully a long career ahead of me, and I know that I'll have some hiccups coming. So it's just how I deal with it.
And what about any life trials? Not so much. Okay, I didn't have many like major injuries, but any life trials that you think that was like, wow, this is tough.
Not really. I was injured. I didn't really have any injury. I was out for about 6 months with a meniscus bruise, but that was pretty much it. And that was before anything really. I wouldn't say I've had it too hard right now throughout these last few years. Um, it's been only up right now for me, and yeah, when we'll have another one when I have an experience to share.
Wow, no problem at all. Tell us, Josh, for example, if you were to, okay, you're 23, but if you were to go back to yourself as a teenager, you had the opportunity to go back to yourself as a teenager, what would you tell yourself? What advice you'd give to yourself?
Do your schoolwork. Yeah, I would definitely tell myself that. But with the knowledge that I have today and how the world is going, um, you only have so long to take an opportunity. An opportunity is not going to be there forever. So it's how you prepare for that opportunity and how you eventually, when you do get that opportunity, it's how you deal with it. My dad always used to tell me before an exam in school, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. So if you're not, I was never prepared, so I failed. But if you fail to prepare, you're not gonna do well. So make sure you have that preparation. I wish I knew that a bit earlier. I would have started working harder a lot earlier, but if thankfully it worked out. But it's I was very lucky. I would say I count my blessings every day for where I am, because of how quickly it happened. But some people are not as lucky and as fortunate as I am. So yeah, it's just about taking the opportunity when you get it.
Josh, you're playing for West Indies. So all these Caribbean islands make up of many, many people. What did it feel like getting selected for the West Indies and even at any version in
Yeah.
terms of there's so many, I'm not sure the exact data of cricketers, but there are many, many cricketers who are out there that want that chance to play for the West Indies. Talk us through how that felt. What was that moment like?
Well, first I'll tell you, like, there's 15 contracted players from each territory. There's 6 territories in around the region that play cricket. There's some territories have 3 different islands making up that territory. So there's those 15 players from those 6 territories, and then there's anybody in the country can get picked as well. You don't have to be contracted to play. So there's a lot of, I think there's like 100 and something contracted players. I'm not doing the math, but there's 100 and something contracted, and then there's anybody else. Once you're performing in your country, you can play cricket. So for me to be chosen in a picked in a 15-man squad out of the whole of the Caribbean. Some Caribbean islands have over 1 million people. There's Jamaica and us, but others have hundreds of thousands, and you count how many people they have in the Caribbean. It's a privilege and honor to represent the people of West Indies. And yeah, I always say I'm very grateful to get that opportunity, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Do you feel like, let's say you go to play in St. Lucia, Jamaica, you know, do you feel that pressure? Like, because you know what, when you're back home in
Mhm.
Trinidad and Tobago, there's a certain amount of pressure there. But
Mhm.
is the pressure the same in Trinidad and Tobago as it is when you, how does that, knowing that you represent all these people, what
Yeah.
is that like walking into Jamaica?
I wouldn't say it's too much different. It's the kind of pressure that's probably on myself is doing well for the team. I don't want to let the team down. They come first. So putting the team first is what I try my best to do. And when there is fans, I haven't had the opportunity to play in front of too many fans. I played in front of 15,000 in New Zealand, but they weren't very bad. They were awesome fans, the best I could have asked for. So I haven't really had the opportunity to play in front of too many people that were booing you or telling you bad stuff. But yeah, I actually want to play in front of that so I can get that experience, so I know what the pressure is like. If everybody's for you, it's going to be all well and good, but when people aren't really for you, and that kind of pressure, and they're telling you these things, they're telling you you're not very good, you don't deserve to be here, those kind of things, there's a lot more pressure because then you have a point to prove. And yeah, I would love to see what that pressure is like, but the pressure at home is more my dad. I want to perform for him. He helps me a lot, so it's just about what I do for my family. And yeah, you always want to do well, so the pressure for yourself is just is quite high, but you have to control that as well. You can't pressure yourself too much, because then you'll be thinking about what you need to do and not what you've prepared to do.
Just talk us through your role models. You know, you're growing up. You know, you have this. Well, you made a decision like I'm going to go for cricket, and you actually end up on the team or playing against some of these best players in the world. Talk us through some of the best players you've played with and against, and
Yeah.
what was that like?
Oh, I've played against, there's Quinton de Kock from South Africa. I've been watching him play for the last 6 years, 7 years, before I even chose to play cricket. I've been watching these guys. I just played against him in a series. Um, there's in Bangladesh, I played against Shakib Al Hassan. He made his debut in 2004. That I was 6 years old when he made his debut.
Wow.
So it was pretty. It's mind blowing to think that these people have been playing for so many years, and I've just reached there, and I've been watching them on TV, and now they're playing against me, or I'm playing against them. It's mind blowing, and I still don't wrap my head around it. There's a lot more people I would love to play against. The Aussies, I've been looking at them throughout. Ever since I watched cricket, I've been watching the Aussies play. If you remember going to a game in the Oval, watching Michael Clark, Steve Smith, all of these guys play. Those are heroes to me. A big hero growing up for me, and not cricket related. There's Chris Birchall, there's Dwight York, Carlos Edwards. These guys I looked up to growing up. You don't have to have somebody from your sport or a sport that you're gonna go into. You can look at anybody as an inspiration. There's Andrew Lewis. I look up to him a lot. what Andrew, the kind of knowledge he has. He's like a dictionary in his own right because the man just has so much knowledge. There's so much he can share. So I try and pick a lot from people and put pieces together because if everybody comes together and gives you advice, something's gonna click. You don't take in everything, but you take what you need to and what's gonna better you in your sport. Andrew might tell me, put the sail there and I'll go faster. But that might mean, in my case, that might be if I hit the ball in this area, it might go further. So it's just about taking what you need out of it and going. But a lot of people, it could be an inspiration to you. It doesn't only have to be in your field of play.
Wow. Just tell us, like, if you can share, like, some teammates who, even when things were a little bit rough for you, some teammates who gave you some advice and you were like, hey, you just showed me the biggest lifeline.
Yeah.
Give me some of those, like, examples of things they might have said to you.
Yeah, in this last series there, I wasn't having the best of times. Even before the series started, we had a few practice games. I was batting in the nets. I wasn't feeling well. I wasn't batting well. So I was talking to Craig Brathwaite. He's the captain of the team, and I look up to him a lot. He is a fighter. He's a grinder. He might not be the prettiest player in the world, but he gets the job done. So for him to give me advice, and I listen to him with anything he says. There's him. There's Shea Hope is another one with amounts of knowledge, the experience he has. He's in the top 10 ODI players in the world. So it was just basically about to get out of it. It's just I was trying too many things in all honesty. I was thinking about too many things. My feet weren't moving properly. I was thinking, why are my feet not moving? Why am my bat not coming down straight? Why am I hitting the ball properly? Why is my head going this way? I was thinking everything in the book except about the ball. The most important thing is cricket, watch the ball. And I was just bypassing that. I was not watching the ball. And I think that's the best piece of advice I got was watch the ball. Because you can't hit the ball without watching it because you wouldn't know where it is. And then another guy, Jason Holder, we play some golf together and we're always talking. He loves to talk. I haven't met anyone in the world after Coach Dion who loves to talk more. But yeah, we don't even have to talk cricket. We're just talking in general and the life lessons and cricket lessons. Everything just comes together and meets in the middle.
Wow. And you talked earlier, Josh, about your mental coach. Give us an idea, like, what that session would be with your mental coach, because he's obviously there to help you, but give us an idea what your mental coach would be like.
I actually like his style. His style is not kind of sit down psychiatrist kind of style. We'll play a game of pool and we'll just have a conversation. We'll play a game of table tennis and we'll be talking. We'll go for a walk around the ground and we'll talk about life. We'll talk about how you got here, what things you like to do. We'll talk about the game eventually, but those things lead up to why I did well previously. So he's trying to get you back to your state of when you were most confident, when you're believing in yourself the most. That's what he's trying to get out of you. When you're not, you don't only go to him when you're doing bad though. It's good to know why you're doing well, and he'll bring out that in you because he's not telling you, he's making you tell him. But he'll say the right things to get that out of you. Some people may not believe in a mental strength coach, but I think it's quite important that we have one because you can't, how to put it, you can't bring your thoughts out on your own. If you think about it, I'm not sure how to explain it, but he makes you think a little bit more, not by telling you what to think, but he puts in little keys, little pointers. Maybe I should say this, and you're thinking in your head, well, what's he doing? Wow, I feel different. And I'll go back to England when before that game, it was the day before the second practice match, and there was this one simple thing he told me to try, and it was watch the ball, play late. Watch the ball, play late. So every time the ball was running up, I would just talk to myself. I would say it out loud. I would say, watch the ball, play late. Watch the ball, play late. So that helped me focus on what I wanted to do and what my goal was eventually. So when he's running up, watch the ball, play late. I watch the ball and then I play the ball under my eyes. I don't want to be all out there playing the ball because you'll get into trouble. So it gave me a distraction to say, but it wasn't really a distraction because it was making me look at the ball more, and it was blocking out. I had thoughts of like, what if I get out, or how is this guy gonna get me out? And another thing I was talking to Craig about was how he doesn't think about that, which is very good. I think about it all the time. How is this guy gonna get me out? But another way to think about it is how am I gonna score off of this guy? How am I gonna get on top of him? Not how he's gonna get on top of me. So that's something I've been working on. I'm still working on it. It's quite hard to change when you have a thought process one way. So it's a habit, and it takes, I can't remember, it takes a long time to build a habit, but a
So
very
true.
short time to break it. So I'm in the process of building it back and trying to get that habit sorted.
Wow. Wow. And Josh, people like we talked a lot about you being about batsman, but how does one go and being a batsman or recognized batsman for the West Indies and also wicket keeper? How did that package come together?
Yeah, the wicket keeping is, I would say, the hardest job in the game. In Form 1, nobody else wanted to do it. So I was like, all right, coach, give me the gloves. Just, I'll do it. And ever since then, I haven't looked back. I've played in most of the teams I've played in, I've been a wicketkeeper. And the wicketkeeper is known as the backbone to say, because he brings everybody together. He's the only man on the field that the ball comes at every single ball. The ball is always coming at me. Whether it comes through to me or it doesn't, the ball is always coming in my direction. So I'm the only person that has to focus for 900 balls in a day. Because that one catch could come and you're not ready. They feel that fine. Like he could not have a ball for the whole session. But me, everything is coming at me. So I have to always be mentally in the game. Not really physically, because your body will move, but once your mind reacts, your body will follow. And then batting nowadays, you're expected as a wicketkeeper to be a batsman as well. You're not only
Wow.
a wicketkeeper anymore. Back in the day, they had specialist wicketkeepers, specialist fieldsmen, but now it's you have to score runs. That's your number one priority, I think, is scoring runs. You have to keep well as well, but once you score runs and you're keeping well, you'll always be given more opportunities.
Josh, you're so mature, way above your age. I can tell you that. You're so
Thank you.
mature above your age. What about Josh? Talk us through. Give us two moments. One where there's a particular stroke you made, and you said, "Hey, you could put that in a textbook,"
Mhm.
or a catch that you took, and you went, "How did I actually do that?" Can you talk us through either of them?
Yeah, there's a few instances, but my favorite shot I ever played, I was actually playing the highest league in Canada. I went up like 2 years ago and I played a couple of games for a team up there. And I wasn't the first game. They called me out of vacation. I was in New York on vacation, and a guy I knew, he called me. He's like, "Could you come and play a couple of games for us this week?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll come over." I left New York early and I went to Canada. I didn't have any of my gear. I borrowed all of my gear, and so I went out the first game. I was literally playing like I didn't know how to play cricket. And the next game, I played one shot, and that one shot literally brought me back to where I was before. That's all I needed. I trained a couple of times in a
Wow.
week, but that one shot literally taught me how to bat again. I played an over cover and I went for six, and we actually won the game because I scored 50 something. We needed a lot of runs and a little bit of balls. I can't remember exactly, but that innings and that one shot was, I can't even remember. Um, the thoughts don't come, because every time I do well in cricket, it doesn't matter the level, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, who I'm playing for. I want to win and I want to do well, because my name is what I want to be out there, and my team needs to win. If I do well, the team more than likely is going to do well. If the team does well and I don't do well, I'm actually okay. But if I don't do well and the team doesn't do well, I'm upset. And if I do well and the team doesn't do well, what's that going to do for me? The team isn't winning. So that's the batting side. And then in the wicket keeping, there was a catch. It wasn't actually wicket keeping. It was in slip, playing for Trinidad in the Oval against Guyana. I remember it to this day. Brian Charles, off spinner, came up bold, and Leon Johnson was batting. He edged it, and I dove. The keeper missed it just by his gloves, and I dove to my right, grabbed the ball from underneath. Like my fingers dug into the dirt, and I grabbed the ball, and I got up, and everybody just started running, and we all celebrated. And that feeling is amazing. When all your team is celebrating, it's a nice feeling.
So you're saying, Josh, that from when you talked about teamwork, you're saying that you need your teammates. Just talk a little bit how important, and especially for the team sports,
Mhm.
and it could be individual sports because you have a team around you. So it still comes back to teamwork. How important is teamwork?
One man can't win a trophy. It doesn't matter the sport. It doesn't matter if it's a tennis match, if it's a golf tournament, if it's football, cricket, basketball, whatever it may be. One man can't win a trophy. You need somebody to train you. You need somebody to massage you. You need somebody to look at your injuries. You need somebody to even pick up your towel when you're done, or wash your clothes. Even the hotel staff are important, because without them, we're not going to have clothes for the next day. So I believe that the team is very important. There's one thing that always stood out to me is, as I said before, the team has to do well in order for players to be worldwide recognized. unless you break world records like Brian Lara, then everybody's gonna know who you are. But the team really needs to do well, and how a team is gonna do well is when everybody pitches in and plays their role. Roles are very important. I know what my role is, but you need to know what your role is in your sport. It may be cricket, football, cycling, but your role, you might be a sprinter in running. You're not gonna run 800 meters or 1200 meters. How many of it be? Your strength is 100 meters, 200 meters. And the only way you're going to do that is by your team helping you, your coach helping you. So it's very important. And yeah, you need everybody around you to make sure that you're going to do well.
So, and Josh, somebody in the chat was asking, if you met one of your idols, like when you met one of your idols, what was that conversation like? Did you see yourself? You're like, I'm actually talking to this person. What was that like? Because I'll say this for you. I remember asking Leroy DeLeon, who played for the Cosmos from Trinidad, and Steve David, they played for the Cosmos, and they are in the same dressing room with Pele. And I remember asking him, what did it feel like sitting down next to Pele? And he said, well, the fact that I'm in this dressing room, I think I'm good. So I didn't look at Pele that way. What was it like talking to your idol?
For me, I'm very shy. I need to jump out of it. I don't put myself in conversations, but when I have talked to a couple of them, there was BJ Watling from New Zealand. He just retired. He's had a wonderful career, the most runs for New Zealand as a wicketkeeper, the most dismissals and everything. Just to talk, listen to how he talks about the game and what his roles is and what he eats for breakfast. I'm happy to listen. It doesn't matter what he talks about, but he's an idol. He is somebody I've looked up to growing up playing cricket. So just to be in the same room in the presence as somebody you looked up and you were playing with and you looked at playing on TV, it's a blessing and honor because they've done it before. They are there for a reason, and there's a reason they have lasted so long in the sport. It's because they have taken the opportunities. They had self-belief. They worked hard, and when they got there, they didn't stop working hard. They worked even harder. So for them to just give me a little piece of advice, maybe I should run 5 minutes more. That's whatever they say. It's gonna be it's gonna take. I'm gonna take it in, and I'm gonna use that to build myself and build my self belief and my training.
And Josh, you talked earlier about having faith and having belief and blessings and so. How important is that faith in God, and how was that work for you?
Very important. Growing up, I go to church. Unfortunately, cricket and COVID has stopped us from going to church, but I still try my best to get it in. Every Sunday, I go to church. Whether it's on YouTube or actually going to church, I have a strong belief. My family's a strong believer. So that presence for me was very important. I say my prayers all the time and ask God to give me the blessings, the strength to continue doing what I do. Because without Him, I wouldn't be here. Without those blessings and those opportunities that He put in front of me, I wouldn't have been able to get where that I was today. And there's a reason that everything happens for a reason. I always say that there's nothing that has come to you, good or bad, that was not put there to challenge you or make you better. There's always a time and place for everything. So if you believe that maybe one day or maybe this opportunity hasn't come yet, it's gonna come. If it's meant to be, if it's meant to happen, it'll come. And yeah, I say my prayers all the time, as I said, and I believe. I just believe and hope that one day that all my dreams would come true.
Wow. And I want you guys in the chat, to ask, please raise your hand, I want you guys to ask some of the questions. Josh, you're very humble, and that's why how does humility play a part in your life? Because you're obviously very, very humble.
Yeah, I want to be a likable person. I want to eventually be a coach. I want to eventually pass on my knowledge to people. So for me personally, when I go to talk to somebody and I see that they're a little full of themselves or they're a little cocky, it turns me off. It doesn't want me to talk to them, or it doesn't want me to learn from them because I don't want to end up like them. If I could play cricket without the fame, obviously I take the fame. We can use the fame for good stuff in these times and in the world now. Fame is good because we can pass on stuff. People look up to us, and I can be a role model for a youngster. But if the cricket didn't have this fame, I wouldn't be upset. If I could play cricket without people knowing who I was, I would do it. It's something that I didn't play cricket to become famous. I played cricket because I love doing it. I love sports in general. So yeah, it's just part of the package. But being humble is the most important thing you can do. I told my mom, if I ever jump out of my shell or get too big for my shoes, hit me and bring me back down to earth, because I don't ever want to end up like that.
So that's so phenomenal, because some people will argue and say, well, You need a certain amount of confidence. You need to be like, I'm going to go out there and do well. But to actually have that confidence going out, but when you cross back the line and getting back to dressing room and having to interact with the general public, you're just to Joshua again.
Exactly.
That is so amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. You're a normal person at the end of the day. You're not better than anyone. You're not, just because you play a sport and you're playing at this level doesn't mean I'm better than somebody who is working in a 9 to 5 in an insurance company or a bank. We're all doing a job, and we need, each and every one of us need to do our job for the world to go around. So I need to be able to ask advice and insure my car, insure this, insure my life. And I'm in the entertainment. Cricket is entertainment for those people, for the viewers. So I need to have a likable personality. My teammates need to be likable, because nobody's gonna want to follow us if we're with the cockiest people in the world. Nobody wants to be a role. Nobody's role model is gonna be this cocky guy. You can have confidence without being cocky. Confidence and self-belief is not being like, yeah, I'm better than you, or I can do this better than you. I might be better than you at it now, but I can pass down knowledge to you that's gonna help you reach to the level that you want to reach. So that's just how I look at it.
You just lived out, spoke out as something there that, it's nice to be important, but it's actually more important to be nice.
Yeah.
That is so fascinating. Joshua, as a role model, as you know, you are a role model, and tell me how would you like to use your influence, because you obviously have a certain goodwill and will have more and more influence to youth, not only in the Caribbean but all parts of the world. How would you like to use that influence, Josh?
Of course. It doesn't matter the sport. I might relate more to young cricketers. Might not even be young. Might be somebody who's 18 years old. Might be looking up and be. I was 18 and I wasn't playing professional cricket as yet. So somebody might say, "Wow, he made it when he was 19, 20. I still have some time." And there's people that made it when they're 30, 35. There's never too late. It's how long you're willing to try. Um, but when the opportunity presents itself to help people, I always try my best to put myself in the position to help them. I have a YouTube channel that I try to upload every now and then, but that's about me just showing people the journey. When I was growing up, I didn't have anybody to show me the way or show me what it's like to be from not playing professional cricket all the way up. I'm just sharing a piece of my journey, and that may help somebody. I might not upload everything, but it's something I upload might help. If it helps one person, I'm happy. So it's just about helping as many people as I can, and I want to be a coach. As I said before, I want to pass on my knowledge to the youths, and growing up. Even now, youths come. I help them, and they always ask me questions. If I'm training and you want to train, I'm gonna train with you. I'm not gonna just bring somebody to throw balls for me. They're gonna throw balls to me, and I'm gonna throw balls back to them, because I'm learning and they're gonna learn with me. So that's just how I look at it.
Josh, your humility is awesome, and do forever keep that. Do forever keep that. Josh, what would be some advice you'd give to, and this is any sport, you'd give to, like, what common thread you see throughout any sport that you'd give to youth, right? Whether it's boys, girls, whoever it is, what advice you would give?
Discipline, respect. You have to respect your coach. You have to, because if you don't respect your coach is not gonna want to be around you. They're not gonna want to have you around people who's gonna that you might influence other people to be like you. You need to have respect for your elders, respect for your teammates, respect and discipline, and always respect the game. I can't reiterate that enough. Respect the game. Um, Always be on time. As much you may not be able. Sometimes you may not be able to control it. That's acceptable. But if you're late one day and then you're late the next day and you're late the next day and you're just on time, it's not gonna help you. Um, people are gonna label you as a latecomer. You're not disciplined. You're not taking it seriously. Yeah, just enjoy yourself. The most important thing you can do is enjoy what you're doing. Football, cricket, cycling, whatever your sport is. If you're not enjoying it, it's not gonna be fun. And in order to do well, in order to have fun, in order to make friends, you have to be enjoying it. You can't be sour and say, I don't want to do this. The minute I wake up and I don't want to play cricket anymore, or I don't want to go on the field, I'm going to retire. That could be 5 years from now. I'm going to retire. Because if I'm not enjoying doing it, there's no sense in me giving a half energy to go out there for my teammates when they're giving 100% and I'm not. And that's unfair to them, because they're doing what they can to put their best, and I'm just going through the motion. That makes no sense. So always give your best and always try your hardest. Do all that you need to do, and don't give up. There's no reason to give up, because you can do more than one thing. There's people who were going to school and have a full-time job. There's people um, they play a sport and they have 5 children. They have to come home and take care of them. There's so many different heroes and role models that you can look up to. It's not only sport, there's a lot of businessmen, a lot of people that are doing well and doing multiple things that make them who they are. So find somebody who really relates to you and what you want to do, and look up to them. It doesn't have to be one person, it could be many people. But just take what you need and grow yourself and grow what you need to do in order to be the best person, best player, best athlete you can be.
You know, Josh, some youths, when they hear the word discipline, that kind of, how could you get them to understand that word is there for you?
Yeah.
What would you say to kids who look at the word discipline as somebody coming down on me, telling me what to do, telling me I'm not? How could you make that word discipline easier, Josh, for us?
Or the example might be, you're talking when somebody's talking. That's disrespectful. So you need to make sure that you give that person that respect in order to get respect. Give respect to get back respect. That's how I love when I respect you. All I want you to do is respect me. Give me the opportunity that you had. So as I said, if there's a point in time when you're in school and the teacher is talking, don't talk. All of that is part of discipline. The teacher is trying to teach you to be better in life, to be better in that subject. So that's where discipline really comes in and really helps you to be a better person. It's not to make you worse or make you feel like I'm trying to tell you what to do, or that teacher is trying to make you or force you stop talking. It's just that you're talking, you're not as focused as you could be. You're distracted thinking about something else when you could be more disciplined and get a better grade. That might help you pass, or that might give you 100 instead of 95. It's how you look at it and what you take out of it. But it's never somebody trying to bring you down. It's always to help you.
Because I know, Josh, somebody said if you took the word discipline and put it on a scale, you weigh it in ounces. If you take the word regret and put it on a scale, it's weighed in tons.
Yeah. That's a great saying. I've seen that one before. It's a great saying, and there's so many. I wouldn't say there's a lot of people, I'm sure they regret things, and if they were a little more disciplined, they wouldn't have to regret that, because they would have gotten the opportunity, they would have learned more, they would have done better in this subject. And that all comes back to me. I regret not doing well in school. And the only reason I didn't do well in school is because I wasn't disciplined. I wasn't what I needed to be. I wasn't focusing on that. I just wanted to do one thing. And I regret it. That's my biggest regret in life, is not doing as well as I could in school.
Joshy, let's say, obviously you're playing at a high level, and you said maybe later on you might take up the 2020, maybe at some point, and as you said, that's where the money is in the game. Yeah. If you were getting, well, from cricketing standards, exorbitant amounts of money, what do you think? How will you just go out and buy a Porsche, or what would you do? How important is that?
It's very important. Money can finish very quickly, and you don't know when it's going to stop. Cricket is a very unpredictable game. I can get injured tomorrow, and that could be the end of my career. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but it could just happen. I can't say anything about it. I got injured. What am I supposed to do? So yeah, I've made some money. So right now that's just going to store away and save. I'm going to invest it. Investments are very huge. I might start a charter company. That's what I like to do. I might invest in what I like. I might not just run out and just invest in anything and everything, but I'll just invest in stuff that I like to do. Yes, you need a car to travel, but you don't need the most expensive car. You don't need to go and buy a Porsche. You don't need to. You can drive a Mitsubishi Lancer, and that's going to get you from the same point A to the same point B, and it might even be a little bit cheaper. The maintenance might be cheaper. When you have as much money in the world, you can buy whatever you want. When your money can't finish, do whatever you'd like. When you've made it to where you want to be and you're comfortable, do what you want. But when you're working and you're now starting to make money, you're now doing this and you're now getting your feet sorted, you're not in the door, but you're not all the way in the door. You're there, but you're almost there. You're fighting. You just need that one more performance to stick the nail in your head, and you're there, but you're not there yet. So just continue to back yourself and just make sure. Just know that one day it could finish, and one day money can finish. So do your best to save as much as you can and invest so your money can work for you.
Wow. So Josh, what I'm hearing through what you're saying. So money can't buy that happiness in the game. Can it buy the happiness?
Definitely not. Money can't buy happiness in anything. Yes, you can buy all the fancy cars, all the houses. You might get some people that like you more, some friends that like you more. But when that money finish, I sure if you have 10 friends, 9 of them are gonna leave.
Wow.
9 of them are not gonna be your friend anymore because you don't have the money. You can't buy them the drinks. They're going to the club because you buying all the drinks. You're renting a booth, and they're just there because you are glam. You have all the play, all the rank, as you say. So yeah, that's just it can't buy you any happiness at all. Money is a luxury, but happiness is doing well in your sport. It's making your family proud, being proud of yourself. That's where you get happiness from.
Josh, I can tell you something. You have books in you, buddy. You're just so mature for your age because sometimes as a young sportsman, you're making it in the limelight, and so you tend not to think as mature as you can. But I can tell you also have a very very good support system around you because you're thinking way beyond your years.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking. I was gonna say I have my dad to thank a lot for that because if it was up to me to spend my money, I'd spend it. But he's the one. He's the one that's taught me a lot about saving, about investing, about not. I want to buy a fast car, but why do I need a fast car? It's not. It's just it might get me there quicker. It's gonna burn more gas. It's gonna cost more to maintain. When the engine matches up, that's gonna be $15,000 more to fix. But it's not needed. Yes, it's a nice thing to have, but you don't need it. I had one and I sold it, and he's like, "All right, you learned your lesson. You're not doing it again." He said, "We're only spending your money when that money's gonna work for you." And so I listen to him now. He handles the financials. I tell him when I get paid, and he just we'll use this for that, and this will bring us this, and we'll make more for that. And he's in control. Mommy as well. Mommy has a big part. She's just like, "You sure you need that? You don't need it. Oh gosh, you don't need that." So both of them help me a lot, and it's very grateful for that support system for sure.
So I was just gonna say, Josh, tell the young kids how important, sometimes you get very familiar with your parents and your parents are doing their best and you're giving your best advice. You're like, oh, you're nagging me, you're nagging me. How important is that parent support or that some people don't have, unfortunately, the actual biological mom or dad, but they have adults around them. And so how important is that type of support?
That parent or guardian, whichever one it is very important because I will argue with my dad every day. But at the end of the day, 99% of the time he's right. He might tell me something, I'll argue, and I think, no, you're not right. No, this and that. No, I don't think I should have done that. But then I'll come back and be like, Dad, I'm sorry, you're right. I look back at it and maybe that was the case and maybe I could have done that better. And then mom with she pushes me on the mental side of things. My mom every day she's sending me. I listen to Brendan Bouchard a lot. He does these online videos talking about mental strength, confidence, self-belief, all those kind of things. And she pushes me a lot. I might be like, she asks me, have you done it? I might say yes, but I haven't. And then she might ask me something about it. Well, what do you thought about that? And I'm like, I didn't look at it. So yeah, very, very grateful for their support. Not only parents, my sister, my girlfriend, her parents a lot have been very, very supportive of me. My coaches, most importantly, who took the time and effort to help me reach where I am today. They have a lot of thanks to get when my career is finished because they did so much for me. It's unbelievable the kind of self-belief, the kind of belief they had in me. And to take that time, just even to throw balls for an hour, my coach would just come and say, all right, welcome. So we're gonna start in the oval at 8 o'clock in the morning. It was one coach that did that with me for 6 months. So that's how important that can be. He comes like a guardian to you because he's investing this time into you. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to take his time and do it for you, but they want to do it for your parents. They might have birthed you, but they don't have to help you. But they love you and they want you to do well. They want you to perform. They don't want your success, but they want you to be successful. That's how they look at it. They're happy when you do well, and when you're down, they're your biggest supporter. They're not gonna be like, oh, you didn't do well. Well, I'm gonna get on like everybody else. They're gonna tell you, go again. Come on. Why are you crying? Look, why are you down? You got an opportunity. You didn't do well. Go back, figure out what you didn't do well, and come back and do it again. So for that little reassurance to know that they're helping you and they're supporting you is a big plus.
What is that like, Josh? You obviously it takes a huge commitment to be on the West Indies team, to be away from home for so long, these long periods of time. What is that like, Josh?
And this is the first time I was telling Coach Dion before we jumped on this last year from now on a year prior. I've been home for 2 months in the whole year. I've been in quarantine for about 3 months throughout the year, just being in different countries, having to go through that quarantine period. And that has been the toughest thing I can say. Last Christmas, I came out of quarantine on the 25th of December at 6:30 a.m. I walked out of quarantine. I told my dad, just come for me. Just as soon as you wake up, just come for me. And I couldn't wait to get out. I couldn't wait to see my family, my dog. Most importantly, those just being around my family, just being home. I've been home now for 3 weeks, and I couldn't be more grateful for this time at home because we're away for so long. Yes, we're working, but you want to be happy, you want to be comfortable. So being away from home, it has some very big challenges, but it's all part of the game, and you do it. The things you do for what you love, and to continue to do what you love, you have to make sacrifices. It's not going to just be all rainbows and smooth sailing. They're gonna have rough season. They're gonna have times when you're gonna say, "Oh, maybe I need to do this to get a reward for that." So that's just how I look at it. I'm very grateful to be doing what I love, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. So I'll do it. I'll do it 1,000 times over. Um, I'll try and take out the quarantine period. I don't like that.
I like that, Josh. Josh, for the young athlete who looking for a shortcut and looking to take drugs as an enhancement for their body and so on, and even drugs for recreational use and so. What advice you have to give them, and maybe the drugs along with alcohol as well?
I was gonna say the alcohol for me, growing up, I wasn't a big drinker, but I might go out once a month, but I would overdo it. And I was training for those 2 weeks prior to that, or a month prior to that, and I just wasted that whole month in one night. Alcohol takes you back so many steps. My mom always tells me, and I probably still do it sometimes, but I have a little bit more knowledge to know. Well, all right, maybe I've had a couple. Let's just you can live with that. You don't need to get drunk to have a good time, or you don't need to smoke weed. You don't need to do this to do that to have a good time. Yes, you might like a little alcohol, but drugs definitely not. I would not. It's just gonna ruin your life. And if you do it while you're playing, if you're at a level where you can get drug tested, or even if you are using enhancements in your youth level, or when you can't get tested to make it where you are, you're just gonna be embarrassed when you make it where you are, because they're gonna test you and you're gonna get banned. And then when you get banned, you off for 3 years or 2 years, however long you get banned for, and then you come back, you're not gonna be fast. If you're running, you're not gonna be fast, or you're not gonna be able to perform in your sport because you're using an enhancement to get you there. So it makes no sense cheating yourself. That's a good word. You're cheating yourself and making you feel like you're better than you really are. Because why not take that time to get better, actually get better legitimately, and then just be better and have a longer career, be able to make more money, be able to do more things, and have people believe in you and say, this man is legit. You don't when you get tested and you get caught for drugs, everybody's gonna label you as that guy who used drugs or that guy who used an enhancement. There's no coming back. The world does not forget. Everything is on social media. Whatever I post, whatever an international player posts, it's going to be on the internet forever. Nobody is going to forget that. There's somebody who's screenshotting my every post, my every tweet. Somebody is screenshotting it just in case it might have something of use later on in the year. An example, there's this guy who played for England, Ollie Robinson. He made some remarks when he was back in his teens. He was 18 years old. He's 28 years old now, and this guy went back in his tweets and screenshotted them, and he made his test debut. And the first day of his test debut, somebody leaked the tweets, and they had some racist remarks in them, and then that was the end. He played one game and then he got banned because there's no toleration for those kind of things. It's just there's no reason for discrimination or anything like that, and that comes to the person you are, and that's just as bad as using drugs, just as bad as doing anything, because the kind of person you are, that shows you the kind of person you are. So drugs, alcohol, discrimination, anything along those lines, I put all of that in the same basket. Yes, you can enjoy with your alcohol, but don't overdo it. You might have an off time where you can, okay, that's fine. But when you're in training or you're in competition, it's definitely a no-no in order to do those things.
And what about because we Josh, people from all different backgrounds are going to see this interview. What if in particular environments that drugs is more readily available, right? And what would you say to a youth who is going to be tempted, peer pressure? What are you going to say to that youth?
There's always going to be peer pressure, but it's how you handle the peer pressure. If I had somebody in front of me that and I would tell them that they had these at their resources, they're going on the block and they're talking to their friends, or maybe older than them, they might be a little younger, they might be the same age, but they really, even somebody who's not playing sports, drugs is just going to take your money. Who wants their money taken from them? But this, I would tell somebody, look, there's so much better things that you can do. There's so many further places you can go. Even if you have a normal job, somebody is going to find out. They do drug tests in normal jobs. Not only athletes get drug tested. So I would tell that person, look at your future. Either you have a career or you go to jail. Would you rather spend 5 years in jail, or would you rather spend 5 years getting better at something that can potentially give you 20, 25 years down the line, instead of spending them 5 years in jail and then have a felony on your record? That makes no sense. Yes, some people they may feel like they have to, or they may feel like that's their only way, but there's always another way and a safer option. There's no reason to say that this is your only way or the only thing that you can resort to. There's communities, there's these schools, there's all kind of things that can keep you out of it. But it's your decision at the end of the day. I can't force anybody to not do it, but I would recommend and I would push as hard as I can to tell people, tell a youth, tell anyone that it's not the answer. There's so many other ways of dealing with it and so many other ways of getting better at whatever you want to do.
And Joshi, before we wrap up, what other advice you'd have for some? Let's say one of those youths made a mistake. You know, we make mistakes in life. We're not perfect. What advice you'd say to a youth who has made a mistake that maybe they got in some trouble for? What advice, and they're feeling down about themselves, what advice would you give them?
I've been in some of those situations. Maybe I said something I probably didn't want to say, or maybe it might be something much more drastic than that. But nobody's perfect, as Coach said. Everybody is gonna make a mistake. Is not gonna have a pretty perfect life or anything. So yeah, you'll feel down about it. I personally I feel very, very upset when I do something wrong or I make a mistake. It's something that I wish I don't have to go through, but I know I have to go through to learn from that mistake. When you're given that opportunity to learn, I figure that as a blessing, because now I know better for the next opportunity I get, or the next time I'm put in that situation, I'm going to do something different. It's about learning from those mistakes and not making the same mistake twice. Once a mistake, twice a habit. If you do it a second time, it means you want to. And that's the kind of person you are. So just make sure and learn from the mistake, most importantly.
Josh, I told you you have books in you. Once a mistake, twice a habit. Man, that's so fascinating. That's so fascinating. You know, we didn't get. I mean, I really love if guys in the audience, you know, will ask some questions, and so I know we've been going for a little bit, but Josh, you're such a motivator for so many of these youths, because you know sometimes as a youth we have dreams, we have aspirations,
Yeah,
but we can't connect it. We can't, like, that seems a pie in the sky. That is too far.
yeah.
What advice you'd give to a youth who's looking at it like, I want to make it, you know, but I don't, wow, to do what? Like that just seems like a, what advice you'd have to those youths?
Yeah. You must have seen a building being built. It wasn't built overnight. As the saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day. It literally takes months, years, sometimes decades to get what you want. Somebody might see this goal in the future. I never saw West Indies as something that I can attain or something that I can do, but I saw it as a goal I want to set myself. It took me 5 years from that when I set that goal, but it might take you a little longer. It might take you a little less, but you'd never know until you try or until you put in the hard work. You don't know if you're gonna make it there until you actually give that effort, give it 100%. You don't have to focus solely on that. Yes, you give that your all, but you also do other things that's gonna help you attain that goal. Me reading a book might help me be more patient when I'm batting, or it might help me just have a little more knowledge, learn a bigger word that I might tell somebody, and they might say, "Wow, you know what you're talking about." But all those things make you a better person and make you more intelligent, make you more knowledgeable, and make you all know a better person. So for you to see that goal, just keep working for it. Yeah, you look at it, you're like, "Wow, I can't get there," but that's not the kind of mentality to have. I can get there. It might take a little longer, but I can definitely get there. So it's just self-belief, and there is hope. There is a lot of hope.
Wow, I just want to ask you one more question in terms of, and you don't have to call names, but you would have seen one of your teammates, whatever level, struggling,
Yeah.
and you went and you gave some advice. Just give us an idea of what that was like, and if you want to share, you don't have to call the person name, but what did you say to that person?
There was, I think it was in the Bangladesh series. One of my friends from Barbados, he wasn't doing very well. He scored a lot of runs in the regional cricket leading up and deserved his test call up. and but it just wasn't coming for him. Eventually he was dropped off the team, but he was one of my better friends on the team. One of the people I always used to go breakfast. You say, all right, breakfast at 8. He's there. Him and I are always rolling together. But there's a reason he got there, and there's a reason he is where he is. And it's just about sometimes somebody might just need a little reassurance, knowing that they they're not a failure, and they're not there because somebody put them there. They work to be there. If you play Test cricket or you play the highest level in any sport, you work to be there. Nobody's gonna put you there. Nobody can tell you or give you that opportunity by just putting you there. You have to have scores. You have to have performances. You have to have all these different things that make you that person, and that put you there and put you on the map. For in cricket, you have to score runs for the selected to see you. You have to take wickets. You have to be a team. You don't have to be a team player, but it helps if you're a team player. Definitely, being a team player makes you likable and makes other people want to help you. It makes the team a better vibe. If one person always in the corner by themselves, or yeah, it might be that point in time that they want to be by themselves. But when we have a team meeting, or a team bonding session, we have these little card games, table tennis tournaments, dominoes. All the guys come together and we feel like we're a family. We are a family because we are fighting on the field. I'm gonna want to know that that person has my back. If somebody coming to punch me, I want to know that he coming to help me punch him back. But violence is never the answer. But yeah, that's how it is. That's the most important thing I could probably tell that person.
Wow. Josh, any final words for our audience? And this is going to be seen by hundreds, if not thousands of people. And any final advice you'd like to give?
Yeah, of course. This has been an honor and a privilege to be here to talk to everyone. And how many other people may see this? If I can help 5 people, 10 people, if I help one person, I feel like I've given some knowledge and given some advice to somebody who can better their day. So just if you can take something from this, I would say just the discipline, the enjoyment. Just enjoy what you're doing and be disciplined. Always, I hate when someone is late. I hate to be late, and I hate even more when someone is late. So it takes back your time, and you have to wait for that person. Discipline. Respect the game and respect people. That's good. That's gonna help you out in life a lot. Doesn't have to be sports. It can be anything. So if it's one thing you take from this talk today, that's it.
Josh, you are fantastic, and you're awesome, and your humility is just fascinating. I myself, I see a lot of, and I talk to a lot of top players in different sports and so on, and and it runs through. If I see the cockiness and so it kind of turns you off a little bit. But that humility, Josh, you're definitely on top of it, and you keep on excelling. Josh, just tell us quickly what are your future aspirations? What for the game and for after you finish playing the game.
Well, for the game, it would have to be. I would love to play at least 50 Test matches for West Indies. My goal is 100, but 50 would be the first step, and then 100 would be the next. Play all 3 formats for West Indies. Be consistent. Score as many runs as I can. Get hundreds and all that. Most importantly, after the game is to bring back my knowledge. Bring back what I learned out there. Some people are not going to be out there, so they bring it back to their home country, bring it back to where you are. Not even my home country. Anybody in the world can ask me something. I'm gonna tell them. I'm gonna help them. So it's giving back to what helped me and the community. Like Queens Park Cricket Club was a big help to me. They gave me the platform to be where I am today. So to go back to them would be awesome and show that loyalty, that big fan of loyalty. So just showing those youths and anybody who comes to me, help them out. And yeah, just return the favor that was given to me. That has me where I am.
Wow, you folks on the chat, please put some things in the on the call. Please put some things in the chat that what you thought about what Josh said today. Please just put it in the chat. Josh, this is just so fantastic. You keep going from strength to strength, and you're inspiring, Josh. You're inspiring many.
Thank you, Rich.
You're inspiring many people. Not just one. You're inspiring many people, and then that person inspires somebody else. Because we all need this. We all need these pep talks from time to time, and we all need this. There is hope.
There is.
Right? There is hope. So you folks want to put some stuff in the chat? The guys who on discipline. Wow. Tell me, there's some things you got from the talk. Amazing. I multiply that by many things, many times. But Josh, this is not only motivated for cricket. This is any sport. humility. Wow. Wow. You know, this is fantastic. This is really, really fantastic. Josh, on behalf of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association, on behalf of the Trinidad and Tobago FIFA Normalization Committee, we want to thank you for taking your time. Obviously, we know Western is a very, very busy schedule. I think the timing was perfect. I mean, the first time I asked you, you didn't even think twice. Say, sure, no problem, cool, just let me know. I mean, that's just amazing. I was like, wow, because and again to see it actually come to fruition is fantastic. And to know, Josh, this as you said, once it's out there, it's out there.
Yeah.
This is going to be in the archives, and it's a lot of people are going to look back at this. And to yourself and the many athletes.
Yeah.
You know, thank you. All the youths on the call. There are many things that Josh said and our other speakers would have said. You know, that please use the information. It's good to come and hear the information and that's, but take something from it. Take a couple things from it. Put it down somewhere. Put something on your wall, because you one day you would be in the shoes of a Joshua De Silva, a Brian Lara, a Dwight Hill, a Karen Forbes, whoever these top athletes are. Right. This morning I was talking to one of our top badminton players. She's in Belgium now, and she's actually a scientist, a doctor in talent identification and quite a few other things. You know, so you don't know where you're going to end up, and be that inspiration for everybody. Be that inspiration. Keep trusting in God. With God, all things are possible. And when you fall down, get back up. Get back up. Get back up. Take the right advice. You know. So I want to thank you, everybody. Josh, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Coach, for the opportunity. It's been a privilege, and anytime you need me, I'm always available. You just let me know, and I'll make myself available to have a chat with anyone you can ask. So thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Now that's an awesome. So thank you, everybody, and we want to wish Josh all the best. We want to wish you, Josh, all the best in all your future endeavors.
Thank you.
And we know that you're going to just go in from strength to strength. And even when the big praises come and all that stuff, you're still going to be Josh.
Of course.
Right? And that is so fantastic. That is so fantastic. So, Josh, we're really, really proud of you.
Thank you.
All the best, and God bless everybody.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Talk to you soon. Cheers. So, and thank you to Yale. Yale, thank you very much for again being the technical person behind all of this and putting this together. And so it's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to put these series on. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to all the players, all the parents, all the coaches that have been supporting us. Thank you very much, and we hope to go from strength to strength. You guys have a wonderful and a fantastic afternoon.